I know this is a Wagamamas. This is a gay kind of murder, mystery, magical thing. Like, this is the quality that I want from all of their monthly boxes. But that series, to me, is just perfection. Mystery, magic, murder, marvellous. Angels, welcome back to another video. My name is Ro and today we are doing a gigantic haul. So since in the run up to Christmas there's been so many delays with so many boxes in terms of their special editions, not only individual books but also sets. I've had several things arrive in the last few weeks, and obviously I've been really busy with exams, so I did unbox them because, and I advise this to any book viewers straight away, if you're not going to unbox your box on live straight away, you should do it off camera, because if there is something wrong and you leave it however long, then they can't replace anything that is wrong. Luckily nothing was wrong with mine. All of my books were in perfect condition. So yeah, this is going to be a mix of special editions from Illumicrate, Fairy Loot, The Broken Binding. If anyone has not heard of that, I will be talking about it later on when I show you the set. Also Waterstones, and as well as a little haul from Waterstones that I have just gotten myself and Amazon as well. So actually recently I've bought myself books. Can you believe it? Like normal books. That never happens. So I literally just have a pile here. Oh, and Goldsboro. A lot from Goldsboro. There's been so many delays with all of my pre-orders and they've like literally only all just come through. This is gonna be a big one, so settle in. So first of all, it's just kind of like the normal books. So I got these from a mix of Waterstones and Amazon, because there has been a sale on Amazon for, I think, some of them are 2 for £7 and some of them are 3 for £5, depending on what category you go on. The 2 for £7 seems to be more like middle grade stuff, but not really relevant right now. But from Waterstones, I got the Polar Bear Explorers Club by Alex Bell. This is a favourite of Jade's, I know, from Jade City. I basically only bought this to take me over for another lot of triple stamps in Waterstones. This, I haven't actually read the back, so there seems to be 4 main characters. Stella joins the Polar Bear Explorers on an expedition to the Icelands. Her eyes are open to a world of danger, adventure, and snow pirates. Out in the icy wilds, there are giant yetis, magical golden geese, terrifying carnivorous cabbages, and new friendships. Okay, so essentially it's just a really fun, wintry middle grade. I think it'll be perfect to read. Either if I don't get to it this month, I might save it for Polathon, which is a readathon by Jade, if you guys didn't know, which revolves around Polar Fantasy. I'm really excited. This cover is really, really nice. I really especially like how the foil goes blue. I think it's really, really pretty. And I've seen there's quite a few others in the series, but they're just like different explorer clubs. So there's like Black Ice Bridge, Ocean Squid, Explorers Club, Explorers Witch Mountain. Like there's a few different ones, but this is like the Polar Fantasy one. So yeah, I'm actually really excited to pick this up. Next up, I decided to get the Christmasaurus and the Christmasaurus 2. I am really annoyed that this is a really reflective copy and this is not, but we move. And also like the penguin thing is at the top there, and it's, I don't know, they're clearly not the same, but maybe that is just what happened with the publishing, like in general. These I hear people talking about all the time, and what better time to buy them and read them than Christmas. I'm hoping to do a vlog for these next week sometime, because I just think it would be really cute to have. I'm pretty sure the kid in it is disabled. He's in a wheelchair in the second cover, but he's kind of just on the Christmasaurus's back on this one, so it's not super obvious from this cover, but it is from this cover. So there is disabled rep there as well. Forget everything you knew about the North Pole. There's a boy called William Trundle, his dad, Santa, an elf named Snozzle Trump, a most unusual dinosaur. Yeah, so it just seems really cute, really self-care. I need so much self-care after these exams, so I'm pretty much only reading middle grade and having a bit of like adult fantasy on the side. I'm really excited to read these. I just think they're going to be really cute and I'm gonna have a great time. I do actually have the third one as well, but I'm splitting this haul into books that I've bought and books that people have bought me for Christmas. So I did get the third one as a Secret Santa as well on my Patreon. Just thought I'd mention that, but you will be seeing that in the other haul once I get in the run up to Christmas, like everyone sends me stuff. Obviously I'm entirely grateful for, I'm very grateful, but I want to wait until everyone has a chance to like arrive what they've sent me so that I can do one big haul from all of my viewers. Next up is another one from Amazon because it was on sale, and that is The Very Merry Murder Club. This was like £6.50, which is so cheap for a hardback. The end papers are so cute, and also the naked hardback is gorgeous. Again, this is just another Christmassy read that I think will go down really well at Christmas. I'm probably just gonna read a lot of Christmassy books in one vlog, thinking about it. Don't think I have any other like technically Christmassy books other than Midnight in Everwood, but I do want to read that around Christmas anyway. Although that takes place on Christmas Eve, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a Christmassy book. I don't actually know what this is about. Right, okay, so it's actually 13 different stories, but I think it's about the same characters solving these different stories. I don't really know how to feel about that in terms of like different stories, because if there's 13 of them, they've got to be quite short. So we'll see how this one goes. Hopefully it's just a bunch of fun. I'm really excited to read it. Next up is a book that I've been wanting to read for ages, and that is The House with Chicken Legs by Sophie Anderson. I love all like Russian, Slavic folklore, anything that's to do with like Baba Yaga, like things like that. Obviously I really love the Winternight trilogy, so I've been really wanting to pick this up for a while, but I just never got round to like purchasing it. It's been on my wish list for ages, but no one ever picked it up for me. So I thought, you know what, I just kind of really want to read it, so I picked it up myself. This is a retelling of like Baba Yaga, I think. The end papers are like a textured, I don't know if you can see that. They're textured. It feels really weird. I know this is a Wagamamas. This is a Baba Yaga retelling. So the main character is 12. Her grandmother is a Yaga, who is a guardian who guides the dead into the afterlife. And she lives in the House with Chicken Legs. She just wants to have like a human friend. So no school, no sports, no music lessons, no parties. She's got like no friends. So she stumbles across the chance to make a real friend, and then her grandmother disappears. So apparently it's a mix of whimsy, humour and adventure. So I am genuinely really excited to read this. I've been wanting to read it for so long. I really love the cover. I'm just, yeah, House with Chicken Legs, man. The last normal book that I got was £2, and that's why I picked it up, and it was The Tower of the Living and the Dying by Anna Smith Spark. This is a sequel to, I actually can't even tell you what the first book is called, and I'm not going to get up and get it. But this is a grimdark series. I went to see S.A. Chakraborty and R.F. Kuang at Harper Voyager Con in London 2 years ago. Anna Smith Spark, as well as someone else, was there. So I bought her book and I got it signed. And I just never got around to it, but this was £2. So I thought, why not? I'll just pick up the sequel and eventually I'll get around to it. I don't really want to read the back of this. All you really need to know is like, there's kings and queens and it's epic fantasy. I'm honestly not even gonna look too much into it. Okay, now we have a Waterstones special edition, and that is A Marvellous Light by Freya Mask. I'm actually getting this in a book box soon, but I really liked the orange sprayed edges. They were a lot brighter on the website. The fact that they're quite pale doesn't really match the cover for me. I thought they were going to match the brightness of like their coats, but it's fairly pale. I'm not too mad. I mean, they're perfectly sprayed, like there's no Mars in it. This is a gay kind of murder, mystery, magical thing. Basically, there's just a mystery. There's like a garden party with like a maze and stuff. Someone's got a curse. But basically, I think from what I've heard, there's a lot of banter between the two love interests, the two main characters, and a lot of whimsy in it. And just in general, like seems a pretty like unique book. Alex E. Harrow has blurbed it at the top. It says mystery, magic, murder, marvellous. It's signed apparently. I didn't realise it was signed. Oh, it is signed. Okay, yeah, I mean, I'm excited to get to this. I probably won't get to it before the end of the year. I'll probably be saying that a lot about a lot of things. There's only a couple of weeks left. Exciting, I have just realised that I did not show you another one, but this is another Waterstones special edition. So this is The Day I Fell Into a Fairy Tale by Ben Miller, who is apparently an actor and a comedian. Jordan had heard of him and I had not. Got that lovely bright red sprayed edges. This is another middle grade, and it is basically a portal fantasy. This brother and sister go into the supermarket and they basically go through a portal. So this says essentially like the fairy tale world is in danger. So it seems a very like typical type of story, but I really like portal fantasy, as you guys know, so I will be quite excited to pick this up whenever I get around to it. It seemed like it will be quite a quick and easy read, which most middle grade is, I know, but just seems pretty good. We are about to get into one of my special edition boxes. This box is probably one of the best boxes I have ever received. With Illumicrate, they have several different types of boxes when it comes to special editions. Obviously, they have their monthly box. They also have like the Archives collection. This is not the Archives collection, the one that I've got. The Archives collection, they did A Darker Shade of Magic. They did... What else have they done? I've gotten pretty much all of their Archives collections, but basically they put a lot more items into it. There's like a full box worth of items, as well as like the first book in a series, it tends to be. Daughter of Smoke and Bone was one of these as well. There was only the first book, and then they did like a bundle for the next 2 books later on, but they had loads and loads of items in that first box. This is an Archives box. It can be kind of confusing because they have collections and they have archives, and sometimes some of them are new and sometimes some of them are old. But I think the collections tend to be older series. So you have Daughter of Smoke and Bone, and you have Dark Shade of Magic, and you also have, I think From Blood and Ash was a collections as well, because they only put the first book in there, and then a load of items. Whereas this is an archives box, which means you get all 3 books in the trilogy and then like 2 to 3 items. But the items in this box are so high quality and so well done. Like, this is the quality that I want from all of their monthly boxes. I feel like the people at Illumicrate and at Fairy Loot as well, they know they can do better and they have the means to, but I think they're getting caught up with like the amount of stuff in the box rather than the quality. And it is very hard to change that going through, because if you're halfway through and you've got a subscription service and you just change it one month to have like 2 to 3 really good items instead of like 6 mediocre and then 5 mediocre ones and 1 really good one, then people aren't going to be happy. But I feel like there needs to be something done, because these items are just so good. Obviously, it may just be me, but I just think they're way better than any of the items you get in usual boxes. This is the Greenbone Saga Archives box. And first up, we have Merwild bookmarks of all the characters. So I am very happy with this. I love Merwild. Merwild is one of my favourite artists, probably my favourite artist that does bookish boxes, and I have almost all of her bookmarks. I really, really, really want the Red Rising ones, but it's such an old box by now that no one is like on the internet who has them, I feel, or everyone who does have them wants to keep them, because I can't believe I did this. I ordered the Howler box and I ordered the fucking Akatar box, and then I couldn't afford both at once, so I cancelled the Howler box because I hadn't read Red Rising yet. And now, obviously, I fucking regret that, but, you know, we move. Can't be helped. If any of you have the Howler bookmarks or know anyone who has them, please let me know, and I will buy them off you. But anyway, these are Merwild bookmarks. They are gorgeous. I love them. Oh my god, they're all so hot. Everyone in this series is so hot. Next up, we have a pin set, and it's one of the most gorgeous pin sets I've ever seen. I'm gonna hold it back here so that Jord can zoom in for you. But here we go. We have the Pillar, the Horn, and the Weatherman, and those are the 3 kind of main roles that you have in the clan, if anyone doesn't or hasn't read Jade City. I think these are gorgeous. These are some of the nicest pins I have ever seen. The designs are just incredible. The font, perfect. The clouds around the edges Oh my god. This is what I mean when I say there's so much room to have so much quality. And I think they can do more with their monthly boxes, but you know, that's not really what we're talking about right now. And for the last item, I love these as well. Souvenir plate set. So this is the first one. It says the Twice Lucky in Janloon. That is the restaurant that is like right at the beginning of Jade City, and you see it pop up throughout the series. That is gorgeous. Honest to God, gorgeous. And then you have like a little squids. I think it's so cute. I think this may be because that they eat squid at the beginning, but I'm struggling to remember. I may look it up in the book now, but I'm pretty sure they eat squid right at the beginning of Jade City. But these are absolutely gorgeous. The plates are by Fez Inkwright. So that is at Ros.Dottir. So ROSDOTTIR on Instagram, I assume. It's just an at there. And then the enamel pin set is designed by Aenti. So Aenti Reads. AENTEE Reads. I think all of these designs, all of the quality is top notch. I could not have asked for more from this box, to be honest. And I haven't even shown you the books yet. So, there are all 3 books here, which I will say I do prefer. I do prefer getting the whole series at once and getting 2 to 3 really, really good items. But then again, you know, the boxes they've done for From Blood and Ash and for Dark Shade of Magic, blah, 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 all of the items, even though they've got more items, have been really, really top notch. So I think personally, I'd rather pay like 10 or more or something for the monthly box and get higher quality items. This isn't a discussion about that. I discuss it every fucking time and I'm sure you guys are bored of it. So let's show you them together. So we have spines, which are fairly simple, but I'm not too mad. These are naked hardbacks. And they do have stuff printed on the back. So here we have, I'm just going to show you them one by one. We have Jade City, which gives me very Wizard of Oz vibes because of the colour and the fact that it's a city. But, oh my god, how gorgeous is this? And on the back it says, on my honour. And on each one it says, on my honour, on my life, on my Jade. And that is a very prevalent quote throughout the series. And honestly, I want it tattooed on me. So I don't know if I would get like exactly these things like on the back of my calf or something. Honestly, this is not a tattoo discussion either. But we've got Jade City. Beautiful. We have Jade War. Also beautiful. It's essentially kind of a similar, the very kind of same design, but then it's ever so slightly different with like the dagger here and then the katana here, and then the guns will be on Jade Legacy. And obviously you probably saw me moving them, but they are stenciled edges and I think they look incredible. I love simple stenciled edges like this. I love having them on a white background of the book. I don't think it looks very good when people have a coloured background and then a coloured stencil on top. I think it looks really cheap. This I think looks really simple, really perfect and like really clean, and I just really, really love them. I think they're gonna have pride of place somewhere. When I reorganise these shelves, they're gonna have pride of place. That's Jade City. That is the Greenbone Saga box. If anyone doesn't know what Jade City is about, it's kind of been storming the internet. I feel like I read it a little bit before the hype came in. The audiobooks I would highly recommend, but also the premise is just kind of like gang warfare 1920s, but it's very epic fantasy kind of setting, because although the powers themselves that they have are very kind of low-key in terms of powers in general in fantasy. So they wear jade in Cacon is the island that jade is mined from. The Kekanese are the only kind of race that can withstand jade aura, and they use jade and they wear it, they have piercings, you know, blah blah, and it kind of enhances their strength. They can use like certain powers, but it's not very like very fantastical. It's more like just kind of they can fight a lot harder and last a lot longer. And essentially in KCON there are two clans. So you've got the No Peak clan, which is who we follow, and then you have the Mountain clan, who are a bunch of bastards. And it's basically a lot about gang warfare, clan warfare, so to say, you know, having territories, you know, each clan kind of taking one swipe at each other at a time and things like that. But the character growth and the character development is incredible. I just think it's a really good series and I think everyone should read it. And Spoops, who obviously most of you should know, is not a fantasy fan really, and she absolutely loves this series. I bought her the first book and she flew through it and loved it, and she's read the second one recently as well. I just think they're really good. I think they're like for everyone. I think everyone can get into it. So go read Jade City. Next up is a Fairy Loot edition that came by itself, and that is Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson. This is the new book by Margaret Rogerson, and I don't really know what it's about. But basically, there's an end paper that's beautiful, and then there's another end paper. This is the back. This is the front. These are the edges, which I'm a little bit disappointed in. They're meant to be gold shimmery, but they kind of just look like a piss yellow when I want it to be like gold foil like this. They're doing a matching set for A Sorcery of Thorns and An Enchantment of Ravens sometime in 2022, I think early 2022, to match this book. But I, again, really, really love naked hardbacks. I think this design is really nice. I've heard fairly good things about this. I feel like there was loads of hype around Margaret Rogerson when A Sorcery of Thorns was coming out and everyone loved it. And then when this was coming out, I feel like I didn't hear anything about it. No one was like excited for it, but I'm actually pretty excited to read this. From what I know, the main character is like maybe some kind of assassin. I just feel like it is a fairly typical YA kind of synopsis, but something kind of just drew me to it, and the fact that I really loved her worlds from both An Enchantment of Ravens and A Sorcery of Thorns definitely made me want to give this a try, and this is gorgeous anyway, so regardless, it's gonna look good on my shelf. Okay, now we've got like quite a few Goldsboro books. So, God, there's so many. First, we have the November GSFF pick, and that is Goldsboro Science Fiction and Fantasy subscription that I'm subscribed to, if you guys don't know. And this is All of Us Villains by two of them, Amanda Foody and Christine Lynn Herman. These are the edges. I'm a little bit disappointed with the edges because I have like 2 or 3 that look basically exactly the same as this, one of them being from Blood and Ash. So I was a bit like, flowers on top of a red background, it's been done several times. And we have nice end papers, and actually I'm really disappointed because I actually am meant to have a special number for Oldsboro. The November and December book that they've sent me like a number in the 1000, like the 1700s. And it's not meant to be that high. It's meant to be like 300 and something. Because the issue is, when you want to buy a sequel, if they reduce the amount that they're doing, you can't get a matching number. And honestly, like, I was one of the first people to sign up for GSFF. I don't think that I should be having, like, and they've increased it twice from like 1,000 to, oh no, maybe 3 times. I think it was 1,000 initially, then it was 1,250. Then they put it up to 1,500, and now they've put it up to 2,000 copies. Which obviously I want everyone to get an edition, but I really want my number. Like, I really want my number to be low, just so it's mainly so I can get sequels. I feel like a lot of people aren't really interested in the sequels. They usually, either they've got it to sell on, like they've got the subscription to sell on, or they don't really like a lot of the books. This is from what I've seen on a Facebook group anyway. This is not me. Like, if any of you have GSFF and you completely disagree, obviously you're not who I'm talking about. But yeah, I was a little bit disappointed, but they have been really overwhelmed recently with so many orders and like backlog and delays, hence why I received like 10 books at once when they're meant to be really spread out. But yeah, All of Us Villains, I did actually have an arc of this, but I forgot to read it, obviously. And it says, you fell in love with the victors of the Hunger Games, now prepare to meet the villains of the Blood Veil. So I think this is like a tournament, which is obviously one of my favourite tropes. Trials, tournaments, and like school settings are like my top 3. Apparently, some book was published, and it's like a salacious tell-all book. This city is thrust into the spotlight. Tourists, protesters, and reporters alike flock to its spell shops and historic ruins to witness an ancient curse unfold. Every generation, 7 families name a champion to compete in a tournament to the death. The prize is their family's exclusive control over the city's high magic supply, the most powerful resource in the world. So in the past, the villainous Lows have won nearly every tournament, and their champion is prepared to continue his family's reign. This year, thanks to their newfound notoriety, each of the champions has a means to win, or better yet, a chance to rewrite their story. This seems like it would be really a lot of fun. It must be adult because GSFF does not do YA. I have really high hopes, but from what I've read from Christine Lynn Herman before, it was kind of like a 4-star. And Amanda Foody as well is not that well known. Well, like, she has books, but I feel like I've never seen anyone give them 5 stars. So the only worry I have is the writing style, especially with 2 people. But the premise seems a lot of fun. It's pretty, generic, but I like what I like. So I always want more stuff like this, regardless of whether it's overdone or whatever, because I really enjoy stories like this. This seems like it would be a lot of fun. I feel quite excited to pick this up. This cover is boring as fuck, though. This is awful. I don't really know what else to say. I'm pretty sure the US cover is way nicer. Okay, next up is the December GSFF, and that is Absinthe. And this has really cool kind of, apologies if this hurts your eyes, but it kind of like is like a weird thing. I don't even know how to say it. This is like a dystopian, so I'm really, really excited for this. It's set in Chicago in 1928. It says the Great War has been over for years and a brave new world forged. So that's talking about World War I, I assume. So technology has delivered the future promised at the turn of the century. Automata provide, monorail trains flash between megacities, medicine is nothing short of magical. Liam Mulcahy remembers little of the world before the war. He grew up poor, but he's now working for one of the richest families in Chicago. He reaps the benefits of his friendship with the family's son and heir. So that's why he is at Club Artemis. It's a palace of Art Deco delights and debauchery, filled to bursting with the rich and beautiful. And tonight they're all drinking one thing: absinthe. This liquor is rumoured to cause hallucinations, madness, even death. While the gilded youth sip the viridescent liquid, the brave new world is crumbling beneath its perfect surface. For their absinthe is no mere folly. Some it kills, other it transforms, but in Liam's something different has taken place. A veil has lifted. He can see the world without its illusion, and it isn't the perfect world the government wants the people to believe. This sounds really good. I am really, really excited. I love dystopian. I need more adult dystopian in my life. Honest to God, this just sounds amazing. If anyone was a bit confused, I was talking a little bit fast through the synopsis. Basically, he drinks absinthe and he sees all the illusion drop around the city, in that it's not actually as amazing and perfect and brilliant as everyone thinks. So that's what it does to him, and then other people it could kill, it could turn them mad, blah blah blah. So, but that's what it does to the main character. And that's all we get. And the back is like the same as the front, which I think is quite cool. Or it's like backwards, obviously. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this. I think it's a really good pick. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I really hope I do get to it soon. That's how I feel about all these books. It's like you're really excited to read them when you first get them, and then you forget about them. Next up, I ordered Once Upon a Broken Heart from Goldsboro. I do have the Fairy Loot edition as well. So the Fairy Loot edition is this garish pink, which I don't think looks very good. And then this is the Goldsboro edition. I unfortunately got the hidden cover of the Arrow, which obviously this looks very pretty, but there were 4 options you could get. And there was a fox, a little potion bottle, a book, and an arrow. And to be honest, the arrow is the most boring one, so I'm a little bit pissed at that. I really do hope I like this. I kind of know that it's going to be not the best going in. Like, it's not going to be the most well written, it's not going to be the most sophisticated. It's YA, it's like quite a typical YA as well. I'm hoping that knowing that going in and having that underestimating or like low expectations going in will make me enjoy it more, because it just seems like it should be quite fun. I've heard a lot of bad things recently though, so I may be selling this on, but I do really like the edges. I just think they look really cute. And this is the perfect way to do a coloured background and a stencil on top. I think white stencil on top of a coloured background looks much, much cleaner and much better than a black stencil. Or a different coloured stencil. So like, if you compare these two, I think if these hearts and stuff were white, it would look much better, or if the background were white and you kept the pink. Maybe I should go into book design. Next up, I got The Symmetry of Stars by Alex Myers. And I don't actually remember what this is about. I think it's about gods. There's two gods that are always at war. Each immortal set selects a set of twins as their champions. The twins that prevail in a contest will decide which immortal rules. That's essentially the synopsis. I don't really want to read anymore. I don't really want to know anymore going in, but it's got nice purple edges and a really cute cover. I just think it looks really cute, and I really like the cover and the edges, so I bought it. Seems pretty short as well. This author did another book, but I did not read it. I think it was like a King Arthur retelling. The last Goldsboro book I have for you is Blood of the Chosen by Django Wexler. So this is a sequel, and it's just got nice red sprayed edges. I got like quite a low number for this because this is why I said earlier, I got given a really high number for the first one, and I couldn't get the sequel because the number was too high and they reduced the amount of copies that they were doing, which really sucks. So this is the first book, Ashes of the Sun. No, I've not read it yet. Please don't at me. I got 603 for this one, and they've given me 103 for the sequel. So it's semi-matching. They've tried their best to like give me one that's similar. So I do really appreciate that from them. Edges are slightly different, so they are like more orange than red. This one is the first one. It's also shorter. The sequel is shorter. I hate when that happens. But this is an epic fantasy. I can't even remember what it's about. This is how you know stuff's getting out of hand. I used to know everything on my physical TBR, like what it was about, and now I don't. And I got a really nice bookmark with this first one as well. Long ago, a magical war destroyed the Chosen Empire and a new republic rose from its ashes. Gaia, I don't know how to pronounce that, hasn't seen his sister since their parents sold her to the Twilight Order. And now, 12 years after her disappearance, Gaia's sole focus is revenge. He's chasing rumours of a fabled city, protecting a powerful artifact, and he comes face to face with his lost sister. But now she's been trained to be a warrior and wields magic for the Twilight Order. So now they're kind of standing on opposite sides of a war. That's the premise. And then, obviously, this is the sequel. I do really like the covers. I think they look really good. I don't really have much to say about stuff like this because, obviously, I have not read the first one. So it's a bit annoying for you guys, but yeah, the pile is piling up next to me. We only have 2 sets left, and that will be it for this haul. I told you it would be a big one. So the first one that I'm going to show you, is the Winter Night Trilogy by Catherine Arden, and this is the Fairy Loot set. These are the edges, so it is blue, red, green, and we have the Bear and the Nightingale, which has the nightingale on the front. And I love that they've got little scenes inside. I think they look incredible. Each end paper like this is exactly the same but in different colours. So this is the blue one. And then you do have the little nightingale underneath on the dust jacket, underneath the dust jacket as well. Then obviously we have the Girl in the Tower, which might be my favourite one, but also the third one is also very good. Honestly, I say that, but I can't really pick between them. So this is the Girl in the Tower, which is obviously the second book. Again, the same end papers, but in red. And then we do have Solovi, who is the horse. And again, there's a little scene kind of inside there. I love that. That's my favourite part of these editions. And last but not least, we have Winter of the Witch, which I read earlier this year, finished the series off. This series is incredible. If you don't read it now, /Polathon, like the next 3 months, it's the perfect time. So again, there's a little scene inside there, which I love. The green edges, and then again, green inside, and the bear underneath. But yeah, this series, if you've not read it or heard of it, honest to God, I think everyone will love it. I don't understand people who don't like it, genuinely. Like, most of the time I'm very like, oh, you know, everyone has their own opinions and everyone's opinions are valid and there's no such thing as objectivity when it comes to books. Like, everything's subjective, opinions are subjective. But that series, to me, is just perfection and it is genius. So I don't know what else to say to you. Now, this very last set I'm going to show you is from the Broken Binding. If you've not heard of The Broken Binding, they are a brand new company who are setting up, they basically only do adult special editions. They are basically an indie shop themselves, though. They're not like Illumicrate and Fairy Loot where they just sell special editions. They sell like normal books most of the time as well as a shop. It's basically an indie shop that has started to branch into special editions. I ordered the Malice special edition, which hasn't come yet because I think there was something to do with shipping. It was really weird in their contract, but they are starting up a subscription next year for special editions. It is not going to be the same as Fairy Loot and Illumicrate because it is going to be pretty much one book a month, but it will go through like trilogies and series, so you could skip a certain series if you didn't want that series and that kind of thing. Go to their website and check out like all the info there and their Twitter and stuff. It is perfect. I'm really excited to see what they do in the next year because the editions that I've got right now to show you, the best stenciled edges I've ever seen. I don't know. I haven't even read this fucking series, okay? It's just so worth it to have paid this money for this series, to have it on my shelves. And to be fair, I am halfway through the first book and I'm really enjoying it so far. This series is called the Dandelion Dynasty series. It is by Ken Liu. They've had new covers recently, actually, so even if you didn't want, well, you can't get special editions because these are sold out, but the new covers are really nice. Here are the spines. I've actually just noticed this is a slightly different green, which is really weird. It's just got green on the top and the bottom, but I'm about to show you the stenciled edges, and it creates a picture. What the fuck? How incredible are they? That's stenciled onto the pages. How? It looks so good. It just looks incredible. And the same kind of picture, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, but the same kind of picture goes across the front covers. This is pathetic. But hopefully you can see the dragon's wing there. You get what I mean. It goes across the front covers as well. I have no words. The most fantastic thing I've ever seen. Don't really know what else to say, to be honest. In terms of what the book is about, from what I can tell you from the first book, there are a lot of like meddling gods, which is, again, it's something I really love in books. There's a lot of meddling gods. There's kind of a lot of politics going on. I'd say it's quite similar to like Poppy War or like She Who Became the Sun, in that there's not really much fantasy going on. It's fairly like strong with the historical fiction vibes, and then there's some fantasy elements that are really like low key in terms of like the gods, and perhaps some of the characters may have powers, but not really. So yeah, it's that kind of vibe. So if that is up your street, up your alley, then I would recommend getting them. And all of the new paperbacks have these beautiful new editions. And there is a fourth book coming out, which I didn't think there would be. I thought it was just a trilogy, but they will be doing a matching one apparently, but then I don't know how they would, because this is like a complete picture by itself, so I don't know how that would look good. But hopefully it will. So I'm gonna... That's my sack next to me. That's it for this haul, guys. I know it was super long. Thank you for sticking with me. If you did enjoy, please do give me a little dragon emoji, which is like the dragon on here. Leave me a little dragon emoji if you were here but you didn't really have anything to say, but you wanted to let me know that you were here. Make sure you give this video a like and make sure you subscribe to get all the future content from me in your inbox. All of my links are in the description, including my Patreon. If you don't know what goes on my Patreon, then this is what you're missing out on. I'm about to press play. I'm going to do 3, 2, 1. So 3, 2, 1, press. Our servers are currently overloaded. Please try again. Please fuck off. Speaking of my Patreon, I want to give a huge shout out to everyone at my deity tier. So that is Becca, Meg, Rachel, Lisa, Lydia, Mercy, Sarah, Tori, Liv, Adinda, Celeste, Britt, Kay, and Marloose. Thank you guys so much for all of your support, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!